So you want to get better at reading. I'm going to outline 3 parts, which is going to be why you should read, what you should read, and how to get better at reading. Just before we get into it, just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this sort of content and wanting to see more of it, make sure you subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, post content there pretty much every day. Give this video a like and comment what you like about it, what you want, what you disagree with, and if there's anything that you want to see specifically. Let's get into it. So why should we read? That's a question I used to ask myself quite a lot growing up, thinking, well, it's just a book, like it's boring. But I've recently realised that the amount of you can learn through books alone is so powerful. Basically, somebody's spending the majority of their life in the learning things and making mistakes and doing research, and then they're putting this all into a book for you to consume, which is like 300 pages. I read a book last week that was 400 pages, took me like 3 days. Granted, that doesn't usually happen, that's the only time that's ever happened in my life, but there's an example of how quickly you can read stuff and process and learn things. I obviously had quite a lot of spare time, I was off work for a few days and stuff, so I managed to get that done, but that's just an example. The other thing is, books are really easy to access nowadays. They're not too expensive, which is great, and like you can get physical copies, you can get audio books which you can like listen to in the car or walking and still get the same knowledge in, and you can get them on your phone or your tablet, your laptop, whatever device you choose to read on. Like something that readily available and so dense with wisdom is brilliant. I mean, you can use all this wisdom to have greater control of your own life. When you have more wisdom, you can see life more clearly and you can solve problems easier, which is why you should read. So in terms of what you should read, now this is something that kind of got me confused for when I was growing up, is the reason I found reading so boring is because I was reading fiction and just to get entertainment basically, and I can watch TV to get entertainment, so I didn't really see the point. But when I started reading non-fiction books, which contains more wisdom, don't get me wrong, there are some fiction books that I've read that have got good wisdom and stuff in them, but it's more likely you're going to get this stuff in sort of non-fiction books, which is going to be stuff like your philosophy, stuff like, I guess you could call self-help books and stuff like that. Another great type of book to read is autobiographies from successful people. That book that I mentioned that I read in 3 days, that was Will Smith's autobiography, and you get a lot of insight into all the mistakes and stuff that he went through and life experiences. You also, just anything that's non-fiction that you want to learn about, just like niche subjects. You also get like psychology, psychiatry, all this sort of great stuff that you can learn from. One other thing I want to say about fiction is probably that if you're reading a lot of fiction, you probably want to read some non-fiction as well to go with that, because then in the non-fiction you're learning things that you can then process the fiction with, and actually you could get some good value out of the fiction, what they're talking about, and seeing what sort of wisdom that you can get out of that. Whereas if you already read more non-fiction than fiction anyway, then you know, fiction's more just for entertainment really. Now for the actual how to get better reading part, probably the reason you clicked on this video. I say it's down to creating really small goals. Not a lot of time you probably hear, oh, like the page a day sort of stuff, and you might shrug it off, but it's true. Like if you set yourself a ridiculously easy goal, it's almost impossible to not do, such as reading a page a day, then you're more likely to do it. You're more likely to pick up a book and read a page, because it takes a minute, 2 minutes to read a page. It doesn't take much time out of your day. Another good bit of advice that I've personally learned through experience is probably when you're reading something, you know, when you get in those fogs and you're just not taking things in, you read the same thing like 3 times, just stop, put the book down. Like, you're not going to learn anything by continually forcing yourself to read the same sentence. If it's not going in, it's not going in. Like if you feel tired when you read, you don't want to read anymore, don't read anymore. Just do what comes naturally, because there's no point in saying like grinding through a book just for the sake of grinding through the book. You want to actually read this stuff and take in what is being said, otherwise the book's of very little use to you. Probably the last thing of how to get better is not to be so hard on yourself. Like that's something I used to do a lot, is oh, I've not read this chapter, or I've not read anything today, or I've not. Just don't be so hard on you. It's like it's a habit that you need to build up and slowly progress, and like setting yourself these small goals, like one chapter a month or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something that's really achievable. So just don't be really hard on yourself and get beat up when you don't read a certain amount or whatnot. Just trust the process and just do a little every day, or even if you miss a day because you're busy doing something, say you go away for a trip or something, come back, you don't need to worry about it. The book's not going anywhere. It's still going to be there for you to read when you come back. So that's probably my last bit of advice on how to get better at reading. And that wraps up the video. I hope that was of value to you. And again, if you could subscribe if you like these types of videos and you want to see more, drop a like as well, just to let me know that this stuff was useful. Comment anything that you think I missed that I could have added to this, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you. And Christmas, actually, it's also Christmas this weekend, so have a good Christmas and spend it with your family if you can. Thank you.